Hi everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here at Painted Studio. Welcome back. It is Christmas Eve. We are finishing up the last few things here. If my husband pops on, yeah, I'm going to tell him to get off because it might spoil his Christmas. I want to thank you all for participating in our wonderful Advent calendar sale. Today is the very last day of that, and you will be able to buy 4 feet of foil and get 1 foot free. It's all taken care of on the cart. There's nothing special you have to do. So it goes on until 11:59 tonight. Now, I know we're all spending the evenings with our families, but if you've got a project lined up for right after Christmas and haven't gotten your foil, please consider taking advantage of the sale. So I'm going to finish up now with the last few ornaments I had molded that I have to make because they're for my own family. So if anybody sees my husband, William Dunbar Jr., pop up on here and starts watching, and I miss it, yell at him to get off because he'll spoil his own Christmas, all right? This is just the last few things. I'm making one for my husband. I'm making one for my son. I might even make one for me because, you know, I'm the last person to get stuff. And I just have to share with you a few fun things. Okay, first of all, it's Christmas Eve. I'm wearing red foiled leggings. I don't need to flash in my butt, but I got red foiled leggings at Target that I loved. They were so cute. And not only, I am full force Christmas today. We foiled our sneakers, Christmas tree, and then gold and red on the sides. So I am all out Christmas, and you can see I've got my little headband on. I'm wearing a huge white sweater so I can wear these leggings and not show my butt and scare small children. And then my cousin David's daughter, Julia, is a wonderful ceramicist, and she made this coffee mug, and I'm like, oh. If I can't see all my family for Christmas, at least I can surround myself with little bits of them. All right, nice to see everybody here. Donna, Tony, Kathy Brown, nice to see you. I'm gonna turn on the light and I'm gonna flip this down. That light's dead, so I've got to have to work with 1 light, not 2 today. And we're gonna flip the camera down. And of course, if I miss any questions, no, I come back. Oh, thank you, Donna. If I miss your questions because I'm looking down, no, I come back and look at them. And if I miss them even later on, I come back and I write out all the answers. All right, so let's flip down. Let's hope I've got a good angle here. There we go. Pull all of this back. I think I want a little more light, a little closer to me, just so I might have a better shot. Oh, Donna, Merry Christmas Eve to you too. Okay, so these you didn't see me casting because I was doing this. I had a new mold that arrived. I wanted to check a couple things out and see how it went. Well, I actually had 2 new molds arrive, but one of them is super tiny and irrelevant to what we're doing today, but it's for little tiny koi fish. I don't know if you can see that there. Turn the light on. It's a little tiny koi fish, and that was a double mold. But the other cool one I got was the Greenman, and I love that. Hey, David, Merry Christmas to you too. Okay, this Greenman was awesome, and I waited. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes you order from Etsy, and they don't always come. It's not easy to get stuff shipped to you now as it is. And some of these molds were coming in from out of the country. The Greenman was coming in from, I want to say, Bulgaria, maybe? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember them all. So I cast a bunch of these things so I could make these ornaments, and we're going to see how they come out. And I'm either going to go really crazy with them or I'm going to ignore them and do other things. I've moved things around here, so I just need to get all my pieces in order. So clearly I have them set up as how I want to do them. Now this little tree I cast with, I don't remember if I used liquid glass or art resin. I used one of the two. I put little glass nuggets at the tip to make it green. Let's see if I can get some color here. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, under the light, so I want you to be able to see it. So up here I have green glass nuggets, And then down right below it, I have red glass beads. And yeah, isn't that Greenman would be great? We could use him with all kinds of molds. I'm starting to build a mold collection because I'm having such fun pouring this, but I also want to use some of the materials like Bomar makes for wood applications. So again, like I said, I had green glass nuggets here on the top. I had red glass beads here, and then I found some old glitter that I have no idea where I got it, but it was antique silver as opposed to bright silver, so it's a little warmer looking. I nipped the top off the tree, so that's why it looks messy up here, and then drilled the hole all the way through to the bottom. And I did similar things with all the other pieces you see here. All right, I actually, believe it or not, I ran out of silver wire, and I wanted brass wire for another project, and of course the brass wire arrived right in time for these to be done. And my little wire nipper went over here. I started to clean up for Christmas, and I did it so well that I put away all the tools I needed for today's live. Okay, so the first thing I've got to do, and I need a good long piece of wire for this, so let's angle the camera a little bit back out so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have brass wire here, and this is very fine. This is 28 gauge. I think oh, here it is. I didn't lose it all. So this is the steel wire I have, and I think this is probably even finer. So I'm going to guess this is like a 32 gauge, but it'll all work. So I'm going to take one piece of this wire, stick it through that hole that I drilled through my tree, stick it out the top end like that. And then I'm going to take one of my deer. This I think might actually, I'm not sure if it's a deer or an elk. Somebody told me it might be an elk. And actually that's not the way I want to do it, because this has to hang a little lower because of the antlers. So I can't snug this up underneath there like I would with other stuff. So I'm going to take my wire and twist it a little bit. Let's twist it this way, since that's the way it wants to twist. Now, if you're a jewelry maker, you could do this with chain and jump rings. I don't have that equipment here, so I do it differently. And I'm just going to twist until it's a little bit longer than the antlers. You know, I won't say horns again this time. Everybody laughed at me for that last time, and I deserved it. All right, so now I'm going to stick one end of the piece of the wire through there, and I'm going to stick the other end in as well. And I'm going to push them up, I hope, through the end. There we go. So now my elk, my deer, my whatever it is going to hang underneath here. And before we go in one bit further, I open my wires wide on the top so that I can't have that, so I don't have the elk slide out or the deer slide out. And if you know whether this is a deer versus an elk, tell me, because I don't want to get my animals wrong. I know that's a deer, I know that's a deer, that looks like an elk to me, having been in Colorado and having one try to hump my car. Long story, I'll tell you another day. But yeah, that looks like an elk to me. All right, now I've got to take out some ribbons. And I'm down to the last of my holiday ribbons, which is fine for me. But I've got to have a ribbon to tie a bow with, and then I need to have a ribbon to hang this with. So I can have I think I actually want to use the fabric bow for the bow, because this will hold up better than the glitter ribbon. So if I have to replace the glitter ribbon in the future, because it, ribbons wear out when you use them for Christmas decorations. Hang them on enough trees and they just don't do as well after a while. All right, there's that gonna get cut. So I'm gonna take my glitter ribbon. I appreciate you all being here with me on Christmas Eve. I hope you have some nice plans for the evening. Even, I know we're not all getting together with our families this year, but if you have, even if you're by yourself, I hope you're planning something wonderful. We're just doing a quiet family Christmas at my house. All right, now I needed to put that through the loop, and you'll see why, I hope. I hope I don't screw this up, because I'm notorious for, if I haven't done it in a couple days and then I do it on a live, I do make a mess out of it. And yeah, I've done that before more than once. All right, so I've got the ribbon through the loop and the wire through the loop. And the next thing I have to do is anchor it. So I've got the loop anchored, and then I want my tie ribbon anchored, so that I can tie it nice and snug on here. Pull as tight as I want it to pull. Yeah, there we go. You know, all this stuff that I used to do so easily when I was younger, it's not so easy now. And as always, I twist and I twist and I twist. Then I feel like I had something stuck to my elbow. Trim it. Fold it over, so nobody gets stabbed. And then I like to tie a little knot over the whole thing. All right, so what I do is I try to center it so that everything faces forward. That's not always easy. Okay. Actually, I need to do longer one over so it comes over on top. All right, now I have to turn this towards me because I got to see the, I'm one of those people, I can't tie the bow if it's not facing me. Because otherwise then the tails of the bow end up in the wrong direction, and I've learned the hard way, I just can't do it upside down. I keep trying to do it that way, and then the ribbon doesn't hang down, it points up and it looks funny. Okay, so the top part of that's all done and ready to go. And I'm going to pull that down just to tighten it. There we go. And let's see, I need another piece of wire, and I'll just use the little bit I clipped off. And then I need to wire the two deer together so that they will, that's not going to be long enough. They're going to have the same problem I had here. A little bit longer wire. I just realized that because, again, I'm dealing with antlers. I think I'll probably handle it the same way I did this, which is first loop that here, try to even it out, twist. I could do rings and make them big rings, but the wire will eventually get smashed. And you notice I just knocked a little piece of the antler off because I didn't have this really as well cast on here as I thought it was, but that's all right. Handmade has imperfections in it. And I'm measuring it against here to see how long I need to make it, so I need to twist it till it's like here. So I got a little twisting to do. Now, there are other ways of doing this. I'm sure I could have done thin ribbons or threads, hanging them together. I've been kind of liking, though, the firmness of the wire. Okay, let's pull this in here. let's get the other wire out from between the feet. Okay, I've got enough hang space. Clip and smush it down. Now I may have to redo this one here because I shortened up that wire too much. You can see he's hanging funny here. I tightened it up a little too much, so I might have to rewire that. That wouldn't be something that doesn't happen for me. I'm not worried about it. I don't sweat that kind of stuff. Okay, let's take another little piece of wire. And now we've got our last reindeer, the head. I love this one. I love that three-dimensional head. If anybody's seen my husband on there, William Dunbar Jr., yell at him to get off. He's going to ruin his own Christmas if he doesn't get off of this live. But I don't think he's been on. Hopefully he's at the grocery store. You might hear some Christmas music in the background. We're clearly very Christmassy. I don't think my husband was ever as Christmassy as I am, and that poor man has had to suffer through so many Christmas decorations, and still does. Well, he knew what he signed up for when he was marrying me. He had 3 Christmases with me before we got married. All right, let's see if that's long enough. Yep, that's good. So again, we're gonna pop that through the hole I drilled in the underside of that one. And then let's put him up there. Go on, get in there tight. You're listening to one of my New Orleans CDs on, or I shouldn't say CDs, it's on my phone, and I thought the music would stop once I started recording, but guess not. It doesn't, so at least today when I'm quiet, you can hear some of the music I'm playing. And no, I do not own the rights to any of this music, so if I bought the songs. I'm not using it to advertise. I know somebody is gonna say, why are you worried about that? Well, you know, people come through here. I don't need anybody fining me for using unlicensed music. Getting tougher on that kind of stuff. So here's the idea. I will probably restring this bottom one because I'm not real happy he's too tight up under the tree. But the idea is darling. So I'll do that one after we get off because I've got these 2 still to do. Actually have more than 2, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so we're gonna do our Greenman, and his shapes needed to be more organic, less Christmas, so I had some castings that I used from, I actually have a mold that has different paisley shapes, so that's what this is from. He was trying to call me while I'm doing a live. Oh no. Well, they'll catch up with me later. Okay, so now these I'm just creating the loops. These don't have to be wired quite so complicated, in such a complicated manner, because they'll just dangle. There won't be anything like legs or antlers to get in the way. And I've drilled all the holes in these after they were cast, so that's why they all have holes. They didn't come with holes in them. I pulled my drill out and put in a standard small bit, and they drilled right out, no problem. Okay, what I'm trying to do now is curl the, ouch, not stab myself. I'm gonna zoom in a little so you can see what I'm doing better. Okay, so, hey Desiree, Merry Christmas to you too. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking the little bits of wire that I twisted together and clipped off and folding them back in because, as you just saw, you can stab yourself on the wire. So we've got that one hanging down, and then we just need one more little guy. I have enough pieces there. So we're going to take the leaf, face it into the disc, slide it through the hole at the bottom of the disc too, create another little loop. I know my fingers are in the way for a lot of this. If I had a camera person, they might be able to maneuver around my big fingers. Okay, I got that twisted. And clip the ends. And then I twist this back in. Come on. Oh, it's going to be grumpy on me. Ouch. I'm not getting my... Usually I have another little tool here with me to help me twist these instead of poking my fingertips. There we go. That will help. Okay, so we've got the Greenman with his organic elements dangling. And I just need a little wire and ribbon to get him all ready to hang on a tree. Okay, so I'm going to put the wire through the hole I drilled at the top of this. Twisted on there. I'm going to take that as my hanging piece of ribbon, and then I have a little bit bigger ribbon. Come on. I sharpened these scissors and then I use them to cut trimmed epoxy bits, so I've dulled the scissors immediately. Okay, so I'm just going to tie myself a little hanging loop. And I'm going to trim it up because I did a bad job cutting it before. Oh, I need a sharper pair of scissors for the fabric ribbons. And then we're going to take another piece of ribbon like this. Go. Sorry, it's chasing away from me as I'm doing it. It's like going this way as I'm putting, because it's sliding. All right, so now I've wired the ribbons on. And just to then I'll tie the knot in the bow that'll hide the wire. And this one will be done. Come on. I got to turn it this way so I can tie the bow. Now, granted, you do not have to put bows on stuff like this. I just like them at the top of the ornaments because to me it makes them look more finished. That doesn't mean that that's how you have to do it. It means that that's how I like to do it. Let's see. And there's our Greenman. Zoom back out so you can see. Sorry about that. I accidentally hit a button and made it freeze for a second. So here is our hanging Greenman. Now that one's for my son, who is the mythology, zoology, and creatureology kind of nut. So we're gonna save that one for him. I'm thinking maybe this one should be for me. I've got my little pink and silver tree. I have my pink and purple crystal formation and my pink and purple star. So this is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to have to wire these together a little differently than I have the other ones. And I'm actually going to use the silver wire on this because everything on this one is silvers. And so the gold might be a little much on it. All right, so I actually have to take the bottom guy, this is what would be hanging on the bottom, do what I did with the tree and come up through the geode, or not the geode, the crystal thing that I cast. And I'm going to have to anchor that one up first because this one is easy to drill flat, or it has a flat hole, it lays that way. There's no way to do that with this one. It needs to be drilled from the bottom. So really what I need to do here is sort of twist it off and then make a little loop at the top. I'm sort of figuring this out as I'm going and doing this with you guys watching. So if this isn't successful, you'll know it's because I'm kind of guessing as I'm doing this. All right. So now I've got these two hanging, and I need the wire to get this one attached. All right, so I'm going to go through, let's see if I can get these even so I can get it to go through together. And then I'm going to shove it up through the hole that I put in the bottom of the tree. Ooh, that one doesn't want to go. Took a little bend and got stuck. There we go. Oh, that worked just fine. So I've got them all stacked like that. And let's see. Which ribbons do I want to use? Do I want this one? Do I want this one? Do I want that one? I think I'm going to go... I'm literally using up the last little bits of every one of these rolls of ribbon because I've used so much of it making ornaments this season. So I'm trying to make sure I have enough to finish off the last few. Let's get that little piece of tape off of here. There we go. That's the last piece of that. Even if this won't fit over the end of a tree branch, it'll at least give me a hanger so I can put a tree hook on it. Okay. There we go. Now that's all the way through. Turn this towards me so that I can see it a little better. And again, I'll zoom in a little bit if it'll let me. There we go, so you can see how I'm doing this. Okay, I have to make sure I get the wire both through the ribbon and the loop here so it all grabs. Now we are open for business today, but only for a few more minutes because we're closing at 3. Have 1 or 2 last minute errands to do. Sorry, I'm doing that off camera. I'm not trying to. I just pulled it closer to me to see it. I'm twisting it all together. Almost done here. So I think I have a little Harry Connick Jr. playing in the background. I was kind of going for a New Orleans Christmas vibe today. That was sort of where my mood is. My husband and I have often gone down to New Orleans sometime during the fall so that we would always come back with New Orleans goodies for the holidays. Unfortunately, you know, like everybody else, it's the year of COVID, so we didn't get to go to New Orleans this year. We'll save it for another time. Whenever it makes sense to go, we'll go again. Okay, let's pull these tight. Trim that little bit off the end here. Okay, so that's my super crystal-y ornament. I think that one's for me. I like that one. That one's making me happy. Last one. I promise, we're done. This is a cute little tree that I cast with glitters, clearly. Very glittery, and I think we're going to use a little bit of brass wire on it because all of my ribbon that's left is golds or reds. Let's see what I got. Before I pick my wire, let's pick the cup. Those are empty. Let's come back out a little bit. Okay, finished off those 2 rolls. Oh, I think we're pretty much done with that one. So since my ribbons are going to be red, I think I'll make my ties on this silver, just because then it'll be kind of pink, red, and white, and it'll all look cohesive. Okay, so I've drilled the hole in the bottom here already. I swear I did, yeah. I did drill it. I can see the hole. It just piece wasn't going through. I'm gonna drop on my little crystal snowflake. twisting it up nicely, clipping that bit, folding it back down so that then I can rotate it all around and not get stabbed. And I guess that's too short. We're going to use this guy because this is what I have left. Or I have this one left. I want a little longer hanger than that's going to give me. So we're going to use the red one. Now for this one, I don't even have to use wire. I take my ribbon and I kind of pinch the tip of it closed. Shove it in the hole. And if it doesn't go all the way through, which it usually does most times, I can take the tip of a scissor and just give it a little shove. And that'll get it through. Trim the edge here of this ribbon. And here we have our last tree. Now it says Mary right in here. It's very subtle. If I wanted to, I could zhuzh it up, but I kind of like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave it alone. All right, let's flip the camera up. Oh, you're getting a good close-up of me. I don't know if that's what you wanted. All right, everybody, so put my reindeer back on my head. It's been great having you here today. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas Eve and a wonderful Christmas Day tomorrow. I will be back on Saturday. We're going to have shortened hours on Saturday, 10 to 3, so I'll probably do an early live if I get a chance to do one. I have no idea what my Saturday's going to look like, but we also have some other projects coming up. And we'll do some celebratory plans for New Year's Eve. All right. Joe, nice to see you here. Let me give a quick scroll back and see if I missed any questions. Mare, thank you. Joe, thank you. Tony, thank you. Merry Christmas to all of you. Desiree. And Susan. And Maddie, oh, the green, yes, David's right. The Greenman would look great on furniture. And I'm going to look into getting, there's a material called Bomar, and it is this is similar stuff that you can use to that you'll see warmable, moldable wood trim from them. It's cast stuff. They have a plain material that we can actually use to cast into mold. So I'm going to be looking into that and seeing if I can get it so it's soft enough to use into some of our silicone molds. David, thank you. Merry Christmas to you and to you too, Donna. Kathy Brown, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you all for popping in. That's the end of the questions, and we're going to call it a done day. I hope you all are enjoying yourselves with whoever you're with, and if you're by yourself, enjoy that too. All right, everyone, I will see you in the day after Christmas. It's not the new year yet, so I'm going to be around, but have a wonderful holiday, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.